Hello, philosophers. I'm Chico. Welcome to the Philosopher's Classroom. This is where we take something from the Philosopher's Show and look at it in a more academic sense. And I promised you in the last episode that we would look at some historical examples that were like Gettier cases. They were like cases where we had justified true belief, but the philosopher was pointing out, but where's the knowledge, right? You have justified true belief, but no knowledge. I found this first one in Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy under Analysis of Knowledge. I don't know who this person is. Dharmottara, 770 CE Indian philosopher, pointed this out. He gave the following example. Let's say you're walking in the desert and, oh, it's so hot, and dang, we need water, right? And you scope out in the distance. Oh, look, there's water. You go sprinting out. There is no water, right? It was a mirage. Oh, wait a second. Under this rock, right? There's a I don't know, a well under the rock or something like that. Well, in that case, you believed that there was water over there. That was a true belief. You even seemed justified because you could see it, right? It seemed like, and let's say you didn't know anything about mirages. It seemed like you could see it, and yet, did you actually know that it was there was water there, right? It seems like you didn't, because the thing that you thought was water wasn't actually water. Here's a second one. Again, a philosopher I have never heard of. Peter of Mantua, 14th C Italian. He's an Italian. And he says, let's say Plato is next to you and you know him to be running, right? You're at the gym, right? You guys are on the treadmill, 14th century treadmill. You look over, oh, it's Plato, right? Plato's running. However, it actually is Socrates that's next to you. You confuse the two. But little do you know that behind you, Plato's on another treadmill and he's running too, right? Both of them are running. So you believe that Plato is running. It's a true belief. And you're even justified in believing it because let's say that, those two guys are always around and let's say even somebody introduced you and they confused it and they said, hey, this is my buddy Plato, right? And Socrates was like, I'm not going to correct him. No big deal, right? Probably never see this guy again. So you look over there and you have good reason to believe this is Plato, right? Because it's the other guy that made the mistake. You're justified in believing it. And yet it's not Plato. You believe something true, justified, you believe it, and it's not knowledge. Here's the last one. And this one is fun, I think. Bertrand Russell now this is a philosopher that if you haven't heard of them, then I don't know. I don't want to shame you, but if you've studied philosophy, you know Bertrand Russell. Bertrand Russell gives what he calls a stopped clock example, and Alice, let's say, is looks up at the clock and sees it says 2:00. Little does Alice know that the clock is actually stopped. And now that I'm saying that, I'm guessing that my younger audience is not going to know what I mean by the clock is stopped. Would you mean dead? Like it disappeared? This is if you've ever seen the hands that go around, right? If let's say they run out of batteries, it might stop and not move. I don't know. In my old in the school I taught at for years that we had. I think we switched all over to digital, so maybe there were people who had never seen that. I don't know. Anyway, here's for modern day. You ever see those watches where they have the sticker of the time on there, and usually it says 12:00, right? And you could pull off the sticker. These are the cheap watches. I don't know. Maybe you're not used to those. The Seikos, right? Well, let's say. Yours actually, the sticker says 2:00. Oh, it's 2:00. Now it happens to be 2:00, but you believe it, right? Because you see it here. You're justified for believing this. Let's say a friend of yours, said, "Hey, you can borrow my watch," and of course you should believe that your friend had taken off the sticker and everything. Why would your friend leave the sticker on? So you look at it. Oh, it's 2:00. You believe it. It's true. You're even justified for believing it, and yet it seems like you don't know that it's 2:00. So there are three examples along the lines of Gettier from History of Philosophy.